Her MO is clear. Lie to men to get their money, extort them if she must, and when they refuse to pay, stop paying or stop giving her what she wants, go to the police, accuse them of sexual assault, and file a civil suit against them to retaliate.
Peace and blessings, you ugly mofos, and welcome to another episode of E-Rants. I am your host, Felix Long Trousers. All right, guys, man, before we get into this reaction, we just got to talk about the guy, Trevor Bauer himself, right? For those of you guys who don't know who Trevor Bauer is, because I had no idea who the hell he was, he's a former MLB pitcher, right? Last time I think he played for the Dodgers, and that was in 2021. The reason why he's no longer in the league right now, and I think he's playing for the Mexican baseball league right now at 33 years old, so he's not even that old, is because of some Me Too allegations that he actually received in 2021. And you guys know, once the Me Too starts, they already start dropping you, right? Endorsements start going away, your team starts letting you go suspended, all that type of stuff, right? They just give all like praise. I'm not gonna say praise, but it is listed to everything the woman says, right? Just off the strength of the allegations, right? It's a scary world we live in, right? But he has gone above and beyond to prove his innocence, and I respect it. And the reason why we're talking about him today, because I believe there was about 4 women that put the allegations upon him and everything, and he's made a fool out of one of them, which we're going to show. I'm going to show in a few seconds rather, and then a new one just developed right now that she just got hit with extortion. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff, right? So this Believe All Women movement, it needs to stop, right? It needs to stop, man. It needs to stop. But let's get right into it. The first person who alleged, I believe her name was Lindsay Hill or something like that, some white blonde joint and everything, and she pretty much got exposed for trying to finesse this guy. But let's not waste more time. Let's get right into this reaction.
Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. A text Lindsay Hill sent to a friend before she ever even met me. "What should I steal?" she asked another, in reference to visiting my house for the first time. The answer? Take his money. "So how might that work?" "I'm going to his house Wednesday," she said. "I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll." Then, after the first time we met, "Net worth is 51 mil, she said. "Bitch, you better secure the bag," was the response. But how is she going to do that? "Need daddy to choke me out," she said. "Being an absolute whore to try to get in on his 51 million, read another text. Then, after the second time we met, former Padres pitcher Jacob Nix told her, "You got to get this bag." "I'll give you 50,000, Lindsay replied. Her AA sponsor asked her at one point, "Do you feel a tiny bit guilty?" "Not really," she replied. Since then, her legal team has approached me multiple times about coming to a financial settlement. But as I have done since day one, I refuse to pay her even a single cent.
And you got to respect it, right? You got to respect it at the end of the day, because if I feel like a lot of people go into the courtroom and it's like, hey, listen, the lawyers pull them to the side, like, listen, man, we could fight this case, right? And we're probably going to win, but it's going to cost you a significant amount of money, right? So we can just do this settlement. It's going to cost you significantly less. But the only thing is the court of public opinion and probably most likely think that you are guilty and you just wanted to settle, stuff like that. But look at it like this: you save money, right? You know what I'm saying? You save money. So I respect the fact that he's like, screw the money. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much like screw all that. I got to clear my name and everything, and I'm not paying this person a damn cent, bro. Like we're going to, and more guys need to do that. It gets to a certain point. It's easy for me to say because it's not my money. It gets to a certain point that it's like, all right, we're just gonna have to eat the bullets. Like, I'm not letting this hoe get away with this shit, bro. Like, I'm just not. So, like, I'm just not. And I respect it. And you see how crazy she is. Like, this was well orchestrated. She made sure. It's like the stupidity is crazy. She made sure to talk to other people and have it documented by text message and everything. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. This generation of women are idiots. I don't know. Let's keep going.
In August of 2021, Lindsay Hill's claims were heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsay Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me. And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us. After hearing the evidence available to her, Judge Diana Gold-Saltman found that Lindsay Hill had misled the court. She found her claims to be materially misleading. She denied her request for a domestic violence restraining order, and she found that no sexual assault or non-consensual conduct took place. Now, some of you might not know about restraining order hearings. I know I didn't, but I've since learned that it's extremely rare for a request for a restraining order to be denied because the standard of proof that you need to obtain one is extremely low. So you can make of that what you will. The fact is, I was never arrested. I was never charged with a crime, and I won the only legal proceeding that took place without my side of the story even being heard. And most importantly, as I've said from day one, I never sexually...
That's because she's an idiot. she's an idiot. She left the breadcrumbs. Like, hey, yeah, it's like it's almost to the point that it's like, were you trying to get caught? Was that your main goal, was to get caught? I mean, like, even seeing the video of her on the bed, zooming into the face and everything, like showing you that she has not been assaulted, nothing has happened to this girl. The fact that these type of stories happen and then the judge don't be like, all right, once it's blatant and obvious that the person is lying, that the judge don't be like, all right, guys, let's throw the book at this joint. Sound like let's give this false accuser the same amount of time and some that the dude would have received if he had done it, man. These joints is scandalous, bro. Absolutely scandalous. But let's keep going.
Assaulted Lindsay Hill, or anyone else for that matter. So I sued her, which prompted her to countersue me. Quite frankly, regardless of the outcome in court, I've paid significantly more in legal fees than Lindsay Hill could ever pay me in her entire life. And I knew that would be the case going in. But the lawsuit was never about the money for me. It was the only way for me to obtain critical information to clear my name. The discovery process in that lawsuit recently concluded, at which point Lindsay Hill's legal team again came to us with another proposal to resolve the case. This time, however, they weren't seeking any money from me. Having received much of the information that had been hidden from us, a small portion of which I've referenced here, I was willing to agree to the terms proposed. Both parties would drop their respective lawsuits, and neither of us would pay either side any money. I also retained my right to speak publicly about the case, something I have not been at liberty to do since June of 2021. So, as of today, both lawsuits have been settled. Now, over the last 2 years, I've been forced to defend my integrity and my reputation in a very public setting, but hopefully this is the last time I have to do so, as I'd prefer to just remain focused on doing my job, winning baseball games and entertaining fans around the world. So today, I'm happy to be moving on with my life.
Yeah, so the thing with that girl Lindsay Hill, right? Like that's the one that pretty much was made a fool out of and everything. She caught wind, because a lot of joints their public image is everything, right? Their public image is everything, right? So right now she's looking like a gold digger, a crazy joint, a finesser, whatever you want to call, one with the pavement, and all the names that you can call, right? She's been called that. So she went on an interview with a nice reporter and everything, and I guess she was trying to save face somehow. But let's just get right into it.
Yesterday, we discussed the conclusion of former Major League Baseball player Trevor Bauer's lawsuit stemming from an alleged sexual assault and Bauer's recent video in which he released his side of the story with receipts. Joining me now to discuss that is Bauer's accuser herself, Lindsay Hill. Lindsay, I mentioned Bauer's video in which he provided some receipts that, I'm going to be honest with you, make you look like a clout chaser, or I know some people are calling you a cleat chaser because admittedly you were chasing after several high-profile, wealthy baseball players. Trevor says everything was completely consensual. He also released these text messages that came out in court indicating that you had planned the whole thing out. So I want to read some of these texts from you to a friend between the two of you before you met Trevor, this one. Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers. Okay. Victim is an interesting choice of words. I'm going to allow you a chance to explain yourself. But after you agreed to meet, you asked your friend what you should steal. Your friend answered his money. He says, another one from you to a friend, I'm going to his house Wednesday. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. With a screenshot in which you told him, tryouts don't scare me, Bauer. Pick a day and I am there. Here are some more after you and Trevor met up. Net worth is $51 million, to which your friend responds, bitch, you better secure that bag. Your text, need daddy to choke me out, being an absolute whore to try to get in on his $51 million. You say this wasn't a setup. How can you expect anyone to believe that?
That's a great question. I really appreciate you having me on to even have this conversation. Obviously, there's a lot going on around this, so I really appreciate people who are asking questions about it. The first thing I want to say is, I think that Trevor did this intentionally with the text messages and how he framed this video. There's several things in it that are not correct. And I just want to start out by saying, it's so valid for people to question those text messages. But the root of the problem here is that he is presenting this as one conversation, when in reality he had thousands of messages to choose from, took those, made it look sequential, which it was not. There is no combined screenshot of those things going on one after the other. And as I said last night as well, there's no text message that ever exists. Otherwise he would have, put it out there, combining, anything about a setup through rough sex, finances all in one. Those were handpicked, and they were from multiple different conversations all before we met up. And I think that the video in general doesn't even talk about what actually happened between us two, which is what would have come out during a jury trial. These were all messages that happened before. And then, of course, the video is so valid as well for people to ask questions about. But I do think that video was entirely misleading. He also references the restraining order hearing, which people also have questions about. He says that he was cleared of any wrongdoing, which is actually incorrect. In our civil case, the judge had actually ruled that he had not been cleared of any wrongdoing, and that was a federal court judge. So
I want to.
Hold on. If this is not gaslighting, I don't know what the hell it is. How is she telling us that you have no text messages that prove Slim? It doesn't matter if it happened this day, it happened another day. Those messages were from you, right? You said those things, right? You said I'm trying to get into that money. You the same person that's talked about the chokings and all that stuff. Does it really matter? So this is this is crazy. And I'm telling you all this. This is why, man. This is why we need to keep standing up, guys. Because this is expert. It's not even expert gaslighting. This is ridiculous gas. Even with another woman, right? Even with another woman, I'm thinking this is what I'm thinking, right? This is what I'm thinking. Because she sees this lady as, okay, there's another woman. We got the sisterhood. we have the strong sisterhood together, right? So she's not going to ask me the strong probing questions or anything like that. She's not going to question any of the stuff, even though everything I'm saying is blatantly stupid, right? Just egregiously stupid. And she's missed breadcrumbs over here, just leaving all the trails to the truth, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like I feel dumb. Like, I can't believe that I'm actually listening to her say this, but I must be crazy. I must love pain, because we're going to continue.
To the domestic violence restraining order hearing as well. But I mean, so you're saying that it's misleading because you're admitting that you did talk about rough sex and wanting rough sex. You did talk about him needing to choke you out. You did talk about stealing his money, but it's misleading because he put them together in the same video as if you had said it in the same conversation when in fact it was separate conversations, correct? That's why it's misleading?
Correct. And as well as not showing, the messages that occurred after where it discusses it strictly in the term of, being a baseball wife or something like that.
Or something like that. Okay. I'm just curious if you know like the statistical likelihood of you.
Hold on. Like what? Something like what? Like what else? A side chick? A baseball side chick? I mean, that's the only. What are you talking about? What? Like what? The only you're a scallywag skeezers, huh? You're a street patriot. You know what I'm saying? Asphalt goddess, sidewalk crusader. What are you talking about, bro? These street coalition members, man, they're ridiculous. Let's keep going.
Texting your friend premeditated texts saying you wanted him to choke you out and steal his money, take his money, and him actually choking you out, and those two things not being related.
It's a really, really valid question. And like I said, I think you would need to look through each conversation. Those were handpicked. But I can, like I said last night, completely own the fact that those were overly sarcastic, overly inappropriate to some may seem. And it does give off that impression about clout chaser and totally attention-seeking behavior. But I just feel that they have, nothing to do with what actually took place. But it does cause a lot of questions as to why I was, seeking Trevor out. But at the end of the day, there was nothing about a setup with violence and all of this stuff and getting financial gain. It was strictly, a 25 or however old I was at the time, girl trying to get attention from those things and phrasing it in a sarcastic way before we met.
Okay, so I've got a couple other questions on that. So you said in court that he sexually assaulted you on 2 different encounters, and you say the first time that you say he choked you unconscious. Clearly the insinuation is you didn't like it because now you're calling it an assault, but why did you make the drive back to LA to meet back up with him a second time if this man had just assaulted you by your own account?
Look at that. Lindsay at this moment has probably realized the sisterhood is not as strong as she thought it was, right? She'd be like, well, why are you asking me such a question, right? Why are you asking me such a question? Are you blaming the victim? Can't you tell I was assaulted and I decided to come back again for round 2 of the assaults? I love getting the beats. You know what I'm saying? I love getting choked. I'm surprised she's not. I mean, maybe she might come with the sob story about, when I was younger, I was getting choked a lot. So it's like, it's traumatizing, but it's one of those things I'm familiar with and I enjoy it, right? But I also don't like it at the same time. I know it doesn't make sense, but we're women. So let's try to find a way to make it make sense. It doesn't even have to we don't even have to find a way to make it make sense. We're just going to say it. And if y'all say anything against this, you're a misogynistic bigot. You know what I'm saying? That's as simple. That's how it pretty much goes, right? But this interview is not following the program, and I love it.
I think that's a really good question. How I phrased it and how I in the past is that I was so embarrassed by the first encounter that I felt something, deep in me to go and take the power back and to be better and to be what he wanted in a sense. And so I don't know. There's been a lot of, through all the processes, witness experts on the psychology of what happens when you are assaulted, XYZ. But there was something in me that felt like I needed to make it better in a sense. Okay.
But you texted Trevor before you met him, telling him you liked rough sex. Then you texted him after your first sexual encounter with him, which you now call an assault. And according to court records, you told him after that sexual encounter that you had, quote, never been more turned on in your life. That's not really something that someone says when they were just assaulted.
No. That is something that they said. You saw what I said earlier, right? I never seen this part of the interview, I'll be honest with you. I saw the first 2 minutes of the interview and I was like, all right, let me react to the rest. But No, you're missing what I said before. I grew up in a life of, being assaulted like that, right? So it's almost like I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it at the same time. So you have to understand, it's like this mental thing that's happening with me, being assaulted and stuff. And it's just like, that's what you got to do. That's what she has to do, basically, right? You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to bring the tears up, right? If everything else fails, right? You bring the tears don't work, then you come with the ad hominem attacks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how you have to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this joint, she should have never took this interview. She looks like a complete idiot. Let's keep going.
I think it's a super valid question. Everything you're asking me is a super valid question.
I agree. That's why I'm asking them.
Totally. And I think that I'm not, that's what expert witnesses are for in court in terms of the psychology behind that and responses to abuse and things like that. But like I said, I was just trying to make myself feel better about myself after what had happened the first time. After the first time I left without any markings on my body, my face was fine. I could go to work. And I thought that the second time would be like the first time minus the things I told him I was not comfortable with.
Yeah, so you mentioned the markings on your body. I want to play a portion of his video in which he plays I would say, interesting video of you in his bed. Watch.
In August of 2021, Lindsay Hill's claims were heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsay Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me. And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us.
Lindsay, I think there are a lot of sexual assault survivors who would say you don't look traumatized there and you don't look beaten. And this is allegedly after.
Are you going to believe me? Or are you going to believe your eyes? Are you going to believe your lying ass eyes or you're going to believe me? I don't care what this guy says. I don't care what evidence he brings up. I'm telling you the truth, bitch. I'm telling you the truth. I was sexually assaulted and I am standing up for myself. I'm leaving this interview because I never thought I would come here. I came here to tell my story. And I feel like I'm getting attacked. My reputation is being besmirched. Is that even besmirched? Is that the right way to use that? I don't know.
You say that he brutally attacked you and you had bruises all over your body. You had bruises all over your face. I don't see any bruises there. And I certainly don't see a woman who's just been traumatized by something horrible.
Again, super valid. I think that I woke up that morning and the best way to explain that video is I hadn't seen my entire body yet. I had no idea what had happened considering, I was unconscious for most of it. I had no idea what had happened to my full body.
But if it was that severe, wouldn't you already feel pain? Wouldn't you already have bruises on your face? I mean, you say that he punched you in the face, but where are the bruises?
Well, that's pretty much the end of the video, at least, and I guess it could have went on longer. I think that's crazy. That's nuts, right? That's absolutely nuts. It's like I said before. Don't just go and believe your eyes. F the evidence. Believe me. Allow me to lie to you. All right. God damn it, man. You're supposed to get with the believe all women. Can we get with the program? But yeah, man, so that was Lindsay Hill, right? She was the first one that got exposed, right? And you guys know he had 4 other people. He had 4 people altogether, including Lindsay Hill. But the reason, like I said, the main reason we made this video is because one person just got hit with extortion, right? The person who got hit with extortion, I forgot. She's actually African. I don't know if she's Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. I hope she's not Nigerian. I hope she's from Sierra Leone or Ghana or something like that. You know what I'm saying? If you talk about that. Or Cameroon or something. Hopefully she's not Nigerian because that's going to make us look bad because we already have our 419 thing and everything. If you guys don't know what 419 is, don't look it up. But yeah, so she just got hit with extortion, and I was surprised to see who it was, right? If you guys watch the balloon popping videos, right? There was a girl that was wearing, I believe, a green dress in one of those balloon popping couple videos, and I did not like her. Like she came off like she was trying to be funny a lot, and you know she had the support of the women, sisterhood, obviously, and it was just a whole lot of stupid stuff. And I was like, yo, I wouldn't even wife her. I mean, and she don't even look all that to me, right? Apparently, she's a model or something like that, and she definitely has the model look. But I mean, I'm not taking those type of like the way that she's talking. Like I wouldn't take that from her. If you guys want to know who I'm talking about, like here's a clip of her right here.
Pop the balloon to reject the guy.
I feel like, again, like looks very tired, and like your timepiece doesn't work. It's like there for decoration, and then
you know what type of watch this is, though?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't work.
Okay, it
And
sounds
then-
good.
And so does your watch work? I mean, she said
It does work.
Oh.
But right now,
It's not. No.
it's not on. No.
Okay.
Need new battery.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah, man, lovely lady, right? Lovely lady. But yeah, man, so the guy Trevor Bauer, he's come out and spoke on decided to speak on this situation, right? And he's just knocking down the dominoes and everything, right? He's like, yo, listen, any of you hoes try to Me Too me, this is this is pretty much a message to all y'all, son. I'm coming with the heat. I ain't scared of none of y'all, son. I'm gonna take y'all down one by freaking one, right? But here goes his response video to her getting hit with the what was it? Is it? I think it was extortion, or it was like fraud, or both. I'm not sure, but it's a felony charge. Let's get right into it.
One of the women who accused me of sexual assault just got indicted for committing felony fraud against me. Imagine that. Now, let me catch you up to speed. In the last 3 years, 2 women have taken legal action against me. Lindsay Hill started all of this. You may remember her from this video as the girl who set me up and lied to the world in an attempt to take my money. Well, today, the only other one, Darcy Adana Asimonu, has been criminally indicted for committing felony fraud against me and another man. So now she's facing up to 16 years in prison. Her claims are even more absurd than Lindsay's were, so here's some of the details. We had one plain sexual encounter in December of 2020. Nothing that could be considered remotely rough. She initiated it, but don't take my word for it. Take hers. This is a picture and text message she sent me the next morning explaining why she came on to me. And for months afterwards, she repeatedly requested to sleep with me again. For example, this text from January 7th, 2021. At one point, she even requested a sample of my sperm so she could have my child whenever she wanted to in the future. Now, it's hard to keep track, but she's made at least 4 7-figure demands over the last few years. More than a year after the one time we slept together, and only after Lindsay Hill made up her false allegations, Adana retained a lawyer. She then demanded $3.6 million and claimed I forced her to have an...
And there's the problem. there's the problem. She saw the money that was possibly going to be made by Lindsay Hill. You're like, yeah, let me jump on this. That's how a lot of these Me Too situations happen, right? One person jumps in, and then they were like, oh, maybe we can all just go ahead and do this, right? But a lot of women was going to tell you, like, no, it's because they feel a lot safer now to come out because they saw the other person, get justice and everything. So now they're like, okay, I want to jump in too. I want to also get justice as well. F no. A lot of them is just off some civil stuff. A lot of them is trying to get money. A lot of them is being petty because of the situation that might have happened in their past. There's a lot of factors that can go into why a lot of these women decided to come out. And this woman, she had financial incentive, right? 3 points. I don't even know where she came up with that number. I don't know why. I don't know where she came up with that number. She was like, I want to ask for 5, but I feel like asking for 5 million is too much. Maybe let me come in at 3 and we work our way or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe she started at 4 and she whittled her way down to 3 points. I don't know, man. Either way, I feel like that this girl is a complete idiot for the mere fact that she's even tried to do that, and I don't know if she had enough. I mean, that's what happens when I feel like the Believe All Women movement is going on. They think it doesn't matter. No one's going to really look and try to check the evidence. These guys are just going to go down, right? But let's keep going.
An abortion, leaving her emotionally devastated and irretrievably damaged by it. But here's the thing. She never had an abortion because she was never even pregnant. And that's corroborated by her own medical records. When I refused to pay her the $3.6 million she was asking for, she made up a bogus sexual assault claim and filed a civil suit against me. In that version of her story, she claimed, for the first time by the way, that there was non-consensual sex. But her texts from the next morning show what actually happened. Remember this text in which she explains why she came on to me? She also claims that instead of an abortion, she actually had a miscarriage, but that's impossible, of course, because again, she was never even pregnant. We now have emails between her and the first 2 law firms that dropped her, in which they acknowledge they never had any evidence to support her claims, but they'll try to get my money anyway. I then shared an audio recording I have in which Adana contradicts her own claims and asks me for money. In the emails, her lawyers agreed that that's insurmountable evidence, and they inform Adana that they can no longer represent her unless she can provide documentation or proof of her claims. Of course, she couldn't do that, so the law firm urged her to consult other law firms with different standards. Now, Adana has filed more than 10 police reports claiming sexual assault or harassment against other men, including at least one other professional athlete. But after the Scottsdale police completed their investigation into her claim against me, she's the one being indicted for felony fraud. And not just against me, against another man as well. She made up bogus sexual assault claims and attempted to extort him too. And it gets worse. In my lawsuit...
Isn't it crazy when you hear these stories, right? Because this joint right here was on that balloon joint. She's probably high and mighty. But she's out here extorting people. That's how she's getting her funds, right? That's why a lot of these joints, right, that be saying like, oh yeah, the guy got to go more than 50-50. He has to fund this. He has to pay for this. A lot of them are broke, bro. A lot of them are broke. I mean, you guys already knew that. That's hence why they're trying to look for a guy who can fund their lifestyle, right? A lot of them are just broke and they can't do it. This girl is one of the brokies, right? She's one of the brokies and she's out here getting 7 figures and whatnot by this extortion. She's probably, God knows how many guys she's done this to, right? How many guys has she done this to? Just going out there just trying to get dudes hard-earned money off of this fake. It's just, it's nuts, right? But some people would even applaud this type of girl, right? A lot of women would applaud. Not every woman. A lot of women would applaud and be like, yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say a lot of women. Yeah, a lot of women. It's not saying like I'm saying majority of women. I'm saying just a lot of women. It'll be a lot of women and be like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. The gold digger society of thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, they definitely be one of the people that's gonna be like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, do that. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? This box ain't free. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, scary work, right? But I mean, justice is somewhat, looks like it's about to be served. I hope she gets the full 16 years. But let's keep going.
Against her, we subpoenaed a witness whom she knew for relevant documents to use in our case. And when she found out, she immediately made sexual assault claims against him too. Her MO is clear. Lie to men to get their money, extort them if she must, and when they refuse to pay, stop paying or stop giving her what she wants, go to the police, accuse them of sexual assault, and file a civil suit against them to retaliate. And just so no one can say, well, he still has 2 other accusers, just because the first 2 are complete frauds doesn't mean the others are, here's a couple facts about them. They both had lawyers first demand in excess of $3 million to not go public. In both cases, only after I refused to pay any sum of money did their lawyers make anonymous claims in the media. They both had the opportunity to file a criminal complaint against me. Neither of them did. They both had the opportunity to file a civil suit against me. Neither of them did. They both had the opportunity to participate in Lindsay Hill's civil suit against me. They could have even done so anonymously. They both refused. One of them even submitted a statement to the court stating that she never made public accusations against me. The other refused to participate so vehemently that Lindsay Hill took legal action against her, trying to force her to participate. She still refused. So they both had the opportunity to testify under penalty of perjury. Neither of them did. One can only wonder why. Perhaps it's because all of their claims against me are lies. Now, it's been 2 years since these women and their lawyers attempted to weaponize anonymous claims in the media against me to take my money. I addressed them at the time, and as far as I'm concerned, it's in the past. But if there comes a time in the future where I need to defend myself further, I will not hesitate to do so. For now, there's no reason to speak further on this topic, though, because outside of Adana, who's now been indicted with felony fraud, there are no claims against me, no ongoing investigations, and no outstanding lawsuits. At this point, I'm not sure what else I can possibly do to prove my innocence in all of this. I did not do what I was accused of. And every institution that our society is entrusted to rule on issues like these, like courts, judges, law enforcement officers, prosecutors, they all agree with me. They've rejected every single claim made against me, even going as far as charging one of my accusers with a felony. If any evidence of any of these claims actually existed, I would have been charged, or at the very least arrested. But that never happened. What else do I have to do to prove that this entire situation has been a massive lie? This is insane. At what point do I get to go back to work and continue earning a living?
Unfortunately, man, that might be it for your MLB career. That's the effed up part, right? Even if pretty much got exonerated and everything, right? Pretty much proving that these motherfuckers are lying. You know what I'm saying? These scallywags are lying. regardless, it's like the deed is done, right? That's the effed up part about it, right? Public opinion seems stronger than the actual courts. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But the thing I love is the other two individuals that were supposed to come in and try to hopefully, try to sue him or anything like that. They seen what happened with Lindsey Hill. I was just like, nah, bro. Like this guy don't play around. This guy means business. He's not trying to pay out anything, son. He has his lawyers ready. This guy got $51 million. Like his net worth was $51 million, guys. He can get a great lawyer. I mean, he can get the best lawyers. You know what I'm saying? He has the money to do that. If he wants to take you down, he could take you down. Me and my friends, we used to make jokes when we were younger, and it was like, yo, dudes like 50 Cent has so much money, he can have you killed. You know what I'm saying? He can have you killed. Like, he has that type of money that he could do pretty much almost anything, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the type of dangerous stuff. I don't know why people try to go after those type of people, but, these girls effed around and found out, right? The question is, though, I don't know why Lindsay is not getting hit with some fraud case, right? I really, at this point, I really don't know. But maybe I'm thinking about it like surface level. Maybe I'm kind of shallow in the way I'm thinking about it. I guess because this girl, she faked that she was pregnant and then tried to get money out of her through extortion. The other one, couldn't you also make an argument that that's somewhat extortion at the same time too? But I guess since she went through it through the legal matters, she didn't. I'm not sure. Somebody explain to me. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe my brain is just melted after listening to Lindsey Hill and how she tried to gaslight everybody on why all the stuff that Trevor Bauer said was complete BS, which is crazy, right? So my brain is still trying to recover from that. So maybe that's why I don't understand the difference, right? Some people's probably going to say, oh, no, the difference is because she's a black woman. Oh, that's why, because she's black. I don't think that's the reason. I don't think that's the reason. One thing, her story is a lot more egregious than the white girl's story. So that's one thing. I guess it depends who you ask, right? But I mean, hey, throw away the key, bro. Hey, they should join it with Lindsay, right? Throw it with Lindsay too. Boom, both of y'all get hit with a joint. Throw them in the prison, right? And plaster their face on what do you call it, throughout Twitter and everything like that as a message, right? It's almost like a battle, right? If there's a strong battle of two nations, if one nation can kill the general of the other nation, I'm taking, like, if I was in the other nation that killed the general of another, I'm taking the general's head, I'm taking a stick, putting it right there on the floor, and putting the general's head for everybody to see. You F around, you going to find out. That's what we need to do with some of these joints in order to scare them. Like, listen, bro, you can come forward, but come forward with the truth. If somebody a dude really assaulted you, come forward, but with the truth. Don't try to make up some type of BS trying to get your monies, trying to line your pockets, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of times when I hear some of these stories and I see like it's a civil case, I'm like, okay, this person's not really looking for justice. This person just wants some financial compensation. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to get their pockets lined up. It's not a real, like, if I'm really want a guy to go down, of course, yeah, you can come at it civilly, but I also want criminal charges. I want this person to go to prison. You know what I'm saying? I want them to go to prison. That's how I would feel like if I'm a victim of some type of heinous crime, right? But to me, that's what makes the most sense, right? But I'm happy for Trevor Bauer. I'm very sad that he's not able to get back into MLB. At this point, I don't think they're going to bring him back, even with all the proof. But I mean, if they do, that'd be a blessing. That'd be a blessing. But right now, playing in the Mexican League right now, I don't know how good he is over there because the Mexicans, I'm pretty sure they can hit the ball pretty decent. And actually, that's a lie. Are Mexicans good at baseball? I know Dominicans are. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, they're good, right? They're like the gold standard when it comes to baseball and stuff. But I don't know about Mexicans. I know soccer, they're pretty decent, but just Mexicans, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. But that's all I got to say, man. If you stay this long, I appreciate you. I love you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as with the post notification. That way, you'll always be one of the first to hear the voice. Same time, leave a like. Comment, share with your friends, your loved ones, everybody out there, right? If you stay this long, I was about to repeat myself, all right? But that's all I got to say. Peace and blessings. You ugly bro folks. And I'm out.